Hello, Padawans. Been a rough couple of weeks, hasn't it? I'm going to go over why it's such a hard time of the year to predict NFL games. They do this intentionally. I mean, they want this because it keeps viewership high. A lot of people, if their team is 1-12 like Tennessee, they're tuning out. The season ticket holders are probably going to still go, maybe try and recoup some of their money. Same is true for the Cardinals at 3-9. 25% doesn't sound bad until you realize it puts you at the bottom of the pile. Anyway, the NFL likes to schedule games that are division games. They like to schedule the teams that are going to play each other that are really good teams, because towards the end of the season, you want those high caliber games to keep people's interest, even if it's not their team that's playing. So that's why it's hard this time of the year, and why it's hard at the early part of the year, because you got no idea who's going to do what. Not really until they start playing. Anyway, just want to give you a little heads up. That's how I kind of see things. Gives you a little insight to how I call games. And how I call games, 131, 65, and 1. That puts me 2 games behind Pete Prisco now, because I've had a little bit of a harder couple of weeks than he has. Like Indianapolis losing to Kansas City when they were kicking their butts. That's life as a prognosticator. You got to go with your gut sometimes. Sometimes the gut's wrong. I got a pretty good sized gut, so it's right more often than it's wrong, but that's life. Ryan Wilson is 1 game ahead of me now, so there are 2 national prognosticators who are ahead of me, and then a guy named Eisenberg at CBS is tied with me. I'm ahead of everyone by 3 games or more at ESPN, and I'm ahead of everyone else on CBS other than the one I'm tied with, and the 2 who are slightly ahead of me. So I'm doing pretty well myself. I'm still struggling to get followers and subscribers, so please like and share if you like my content. Like I said, I lost my accounts on TikTok the last couple of years. One of them I was almost monetized. The other one I had just crossed the 1,000 viewership threshold. And I still haven't gotten around to doing children's books on here, but I will be reading to my grandkids. And if you have little kids, you're more than welcome to share that with yours as well. I'm getting ready to, but I need to figure out a way to get the book so the image appears decently, so the ones who don't have the book can see the book too, because that's important. The art is part of children's books. So anyway, that's going to be coming up probably in January. Right now, I'm focused on my career, and I'm focused on just doing the podcast. I'm going to expand that a little once I get to a better place career-wise. Okay, so I think it's week 13, right? Yeah, because we have 12. No, is it week 14? It's got to be week 14, because everybody's had a bye week for the most part. Okay. We got Dallas at Detroit. I'm taking Detroit at home tonight. Sorry I didn't get this out yesterday. Dealing with a lot of other issues too. My car got burglarized when it was getting repaired from an accident. So it's been an interesting few months. They took a lot. They took over 100, probably 150, 175 CDs that I had in, cases instead of with all the individual cases. And they even took the one that was in the stereo. You got to hand it to them. They were efficient. But that's the one that hurt the worst. I mean, losing my TAC glasses, which look very similar to these, that's for short range, like computer reading a book. But yeah, so I had to deal with the insurance company. I had to deal with the police report and the company apologizing profusely. And I'm not going to name their name because I don't think it was their fault that somebody burglarized their facility. That's not a strike upon them. Okay. Tennessee at Cleveland. I'm going with Cleveland at home. These are both crappy teams. Cleveland is slightly less crappy. Seattle at Atlanta. I'm taking the Seahawks. I think that they are going to dominate Atlanta. Indianapolis at Jacksonville. I'm going with Jacksonville at home. I was leaning towards taking Indianapolis, but they've let me down a couple of weeks. So, you can only get beaten so many times before you start going the other way, right? Uh, we've got Washington at Minnesota. This is a hard one because I know Washington is desperately trying to get a win, and I want them to get a win because it increases the draft capital of the Cardinals. I don't see them winning any more games. And so I felt like Minnesota's just slightly better, and they're at home. Washington. Oh wait, I already did that one. I just did that one. Cincinnati at Buffalo. I like that Cincinnati has Joe Burrow back, and I inserted him as my starting quarterback. They just don't have much of a defense. So, and their Trey Hendrickson is injured, so there has been over the past few weeks. So I'm going to go with the home team on this one and take Buffalo. Buffalo's hard to predict because somebody said last week that if Buffalo's offense played against Buffalo's defense, they'd go undefeated. That's pretty funny. Whoever came up with that, I'm jealous. That was funny. New Orleans at Tampa Bay. I'm going with Tampa Bay at home. I know they're still banged up a bit, but New Orleans plays their hearts out. They must have really good coaching, but they just have inferior talent. So I'm going to go with Tampa Bay at home. Pittsburgh at Baltimore. This is a hard one, but I'm going to go with Baltimore at home. And to be honest, there's a rumor that Mike Tomlinson might be on the short list for coaching the Cardinals. And I like Gannon, but him sticking with Drew Petzing was a career ender. Like, Drew Petzing sucks. I've been calling for him to be fired since week 4 of last year. Yeah, that long. And he's stuck by him, despite the fact that he has a hard time calling an offense, even when everyone's healthy. So Mike Tomlinson's had a great record. He was hired the same year Bruce Arians was hired in Arizona. Bruce Arians coached 5 years in Phoenix, in Arizona. I could do it with his hand, but it's still a claw, so it doesn't have the same effect, huh? Bruce Arians, in 127 plus now, because we're 2/3 of the way through this season, 127 years of Cardinals history, is the winningest coach in Arizona Cardinals history, with 50 wins in 5 years. God, how I miss Bruce Arians. Please come out of retirement, Bruce. Okay, and let's see. We've got Miami at New York Jets. I'm going with Miami. They're just a better team. I know they're banged up too, but Miami. And I did take Baltimore, just in case I didn't say it. Denver at the Las Vegas Raiders. I would like to give the Raiders a win at home. I love Pete Carroll. I don't think it's him. The talent on this team is just harsh. They really need to reinvent themselves and not just piece things together. But yeah, I'm definitely going with Denver on that one. Los Angeles Rams at the Arizona Cardinals. Yeah, this is an easy one. The Cardinals are not going to win this game. They have some great defensive players, some really good offensive players, but the offensive coordinator has no clue what he's doing. I cannot see them winning another game this season. I'm hoping they sit Kyler Murray. Kyler Murray should not be traded. They need a right tackle, left guard, right guard, and an offensive coordinator that doesn't have his head clearly. You know it. Okay. Chicago at Green Bay. Chicago's been outplaying my brain all year long. Well done. The coaching staff, the management, you've done a great job. I am going with Green Bay at home, which means Chicago's probably going to win. Just the way this season's gone with me picking Chicago. Houston at Kansas City. Kansas City. Houston's playing better, but it's Kansas City at home. Philadelphia at the Los Angeles Chargers. First of all, I apologize for last week. I'd like to blame it on COVID fog, and it may be part of it, but I called them the San Diego Chargers last week. It's been a decade almost. So my best friend has pointed that out. And by the way, kudos to Perry. He's beaten me at least 2 weeks in a row. I didn't look to see who won this week, but I'm going to try hard to get this to where it's on a computer next year, and we can do a Zoom or whatever program it is that people use to do podcasts together from different places, because he deserves his kudos, man. He's been my brother since 1996, I think. We worked together at a Subway while we were both working or going to school and raising our kids, and he's been a brother to me now for a very long time. So 96 to 29 years. Yeah, he's just awesome, and he's very knowledgeable about football. His one weakness is my weakness. His is the Seahawks. Mine is the Cardinals. And he almost always comes out on the better end of that. I would like that to change at some point in my life, before I die. And then we got Philadelphia at the Los Angeles. Okay, so that's what I was on. Philadelphia at the Los Angeles Chargers. I'm taking the Los Angeles Chargers. I have not given points yet. I don't have a regular pen, and these markers are going to bleed through, but let's go. The Chargers probably 24, and the Eagles 21. So 24-21, 45 total points. And have a wonderful weekend. Stay safe out there. And thanks for tuning in. I appreciate you. Again, please share and like if you can. I would love to get to at least 100 before the end of the season. That's probably still not going to impress the people I'm trying to get to sponsor me. But next year I'm going to do a prize. Anybody who or whoever gets the best score, whether it's below me, above me, whatever, you beat me, that's awesome, and I might even throw in an extra. But I know I have a $50 gift card to Penzeys Spices. They're amazing, and I'm going to offer that up as an award for whoever's first place. And if I'm first place, I'm going to give it to whoever is in second place. And if that's Perry and he competes next year, then it'll go to third place. So anyway, have a wonderful day. Stay safe out there and take care.